Sup YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and I'm back with another TCG online game. I know it's been a while since I made battle videos because I had exams and stuff, a lot going on, and yeah, I'm back now. Hopefully I can get them out each week, and as you see, I'm still playing Zekrom EX Eelektrik, and my opponent is playing Terrakion Landorus, which is the new deck I reviewed a couple of episodes ago, which revolves around retaliating and the XP share and stuff, and yeah, we both didn't draw any basics, so we have to reshuffle and check if we have a basic at time we draw. So as you can see, no basics still. Oh, here we go, Smeargle. This will be my perfect opening because Terrakion is a rather slow deck because it can only attack on turn 2 if it has a bit of luck, if it has the energies it needs, and yeah, my opponent can start first. And as you see, I changed my deck a little bit since last time. I dropped Terrakion completely to have more consistency, and I added Smeargle just to have that consistency to portrait and check my opponent's hand to have a supporter in there if I don't have one myself. So we start off, and my opponent gets a dual ball, getting out a Landorus, so he can to bench that right away. And he already attached EXP share to his Terrakion. Now he's going to use PlusPower and then a Junk Arm for 2 catchers. That's a great thing to hear because that way I'll be really easy to bench my Dynamos without having to worry about catcher. And he's going to do another dual ball and 1 heads again, so his dual balls are going average. And he's going to get out another Terrakion. I'm assuming that the last card in his hand is Juniper because he's playing out his hand completely. And there we go, I'm going to check out Terrakion, 130 HP, it's a massive beast to knock out in one blow, so it'll be kind of hard. And my deck is actually pretty weak against Terrakion. All my Pokemon are weak to fighting except for Mewtwo EX, so it'll be rather hard to beat this deck. So we'll have to see if I can find a way to actually overcome this deck. And I don't have any supporters in my hand at the moment, but I do have my Smeargle ready to copycat one of my opponent's supporters, so that's great. I'm going to use Level Ball to check my deck for some stuff that is there. I'm going to get out Dynamo. I want to have out the Eelektrik on my second turn or something just so I can power up on Dynamotor. I do have 3 lightning energies in my hand, so if I use Portrait, hopefully I can get a Juniper there or something. That way I'll have 3 lightning energies and my discard pile right away from my first turn. That's pretty great. And let's see here, Portrait. Let's check my opponent's hand. Juniper, he does have a PlusPower, a Loss Remover, a Junk Arm, and a Fighting in his hand, so that's kind of great to hear. That way he's going to use Juniper on his next turn. I'll get rid of all the Loss Removers, that'll be great. That way I don't have to worry about my DCs going to the Lost Zone and stuff. Benching Mewtwo EX and going to check if my opponent does play Mewtwo EX or not. I don't actually know, so I'm going to use Eviolite, 1 energy on Mewtwo, and yeah, we'll just have to wait if he can counter Mewtwo. If he does, he'll have to get out his own Mewtwo EX, and as you see, I already discarded all my Eelektriks, but I'm going to fish him out straight away, just like the Eelektriks. They're some sort of fish. I'm going to fish him out straight away, getting them back in my deck. Let's see here, and using Super Rod, and there we go, the 3 Eelektriks are going back in my deck because without Eelektrik it'll be kind of hard to beat this deck. Even though I already benched 2 Dynamos, it'll be kind of easy to get an Eelektrik on my next turn. So yeah, let me check my discard pile here. It's too bad that Shaymin is in my discard pile. It's a great savior at the end of the game. However, I can still manage to win if I can use Mewtwo EX as my main attacker here. I don't want to use any lightning Pokemon, otherwise they'll be knocked out in one blow against these powerful fighting Pokemon. They're big HP Pokemon, 130 HP, and the Landorus does have a resistance to lightning, so that's a pretty good combo, this deck. Let's see if it can work out against me, or if I can manage to overcome it. So another PlusPower is placed down. That way he's going to, yeah, as I thought, he's going to use Junk Arm to get rid of his hand and then use Juniper once again. So he's playing out his hand to use the Juniper in a good way. So he's capturing a Dynamo, which is the obvious thing, to get a free cheap price to knock it out in one blow. Retaliate deals 30 damage right now. If I can knock out a Terrakion and then he uses Retaliate, then it deals 90 damage instead. So he's going to knock out my Dynamo, dealing 80 damage, bang, wow, thanks to that PlusPower and my weakness to fighting, that Dynamo sure got a lot of damage on him. Let's see here, I'm going to bench the Zekrom, just because Zekrom can easily knock out the Terrakions if I have PlusPower. The same goes for Landorus. If I can have 1 PlusPower, I can knock it out with a Bolt Strike here and there. Let's see, I'm going to use it's kind of tempting to use something right here because my Smeargle is still active and I don't know what's in my opponent's hand since he used Juniper on his last turn, so it'll be kind of hard to use Portrait right now, or if I'm just going to use, yeah, I'm going to use Oak now to see if I can have something great. Looks like I draw 2 Junipers, and there is Zekrom EX. This is a card you shouldn't bench in this matchup. You should totally discard it right away, or just not use it, because if it gets knocked out, your opponent gets 2 prize cards, and it's actually really easy to knock out Zekrom EX. 1 Retaliate, it's all it takes to knock it out. But lucky for me, my opponent already got rid of a lot of resources thanks to his junk arms. And let's see, I can get it back at Levelable, and that means I can get out Eelektrik, finally. Usually I want to have Eelektrik on my second or third turn. As you can see, there are still 3 of those in my deck, as well as a Dynamo. And as you see, I already run Tyrogue in my deck just for the occasion if you can dunk. If you're up against something like our lone Dynamo, all you have to do is collect her and just get out that Tyrogue to win the game. So it's kind of easy. If you still want to have a better chance against the Zekrom EX Eelektrik matches, just put in 1 Tyrogue for the fun. You might be surprised if you can win that way. Let's see here, Portrait, Oak. Another Oak, so 2 Oaks in 1 turn. That's why I love Smeargle. Smeargle is actually really great. Let's see here, I'm going to bench another Dynamo. Definitely, because I want to have more Eelektriks out. Hopefully it doesn't get catcher like the other one. I'm going to attach an energy to Smeargle, that way I can retreat it if I have to later on. And let's see here, I can use Dynamotor on Mewtwo EX. Yeah, or Zekrom, yeah, I'm going to use... Let's see, it's a tough decision, but I actually decided to go for Mewtwo because my Zekrom is far away from actually getting built up. I'm going to build him up after I got out 2 Eelektriks. That'll be the smartest thing to do. Let's see here, I got an N, that's great for next turn. And you might wonder why I use Pokégear right now, even though I already use a supporter. That's because if you have Pokégear in your discard pile and your opponent uses something like N and you do draw a junk arm, you can actually get a supporter if you don't have one in your hand. So that's why I prefer, if I have Pokégear, play it right away. Just a personal opinion. If you can have fun doing it otherwise, you can do that as well, but I prefer doing it that way because everything in your discard pile is actually really great, because the deck does run 4 junk arms, and if you have something in a discard pile you need and you do draw that junk arm, it's just so great, like Switches, PlusPower, Sketchers, all the good stuff like that. And let's see, my opponent does have 3 high HP basics, and he already knocked out Dynamo, and he's going to go for Eelektrik. I don't know what he's planning, but whatever, we'll see. So I now have 2 Eelektriks out, and I do have 1 energy in my hand, so I can build up Zekrom in 1 turn and use PlusPower to knock out a Terrakion in 1 turn, as I said, with a Bull Strike. So that's what I'm going to do. Dynamotor twice on Zekrom, so that's why Eelektrik is such a good card. If you're still doubting on using Eelektrik in a certain deck, just do it, because yeah, if you haven't tested Eelektrik out already, you should be surprised how amazing he is. And I'm going to use N right now. Hopefully I can draw into a Switch or a Junk Arm. As you can see, Junk Arm, or yeah, great stuff. 2 Junk Arms and a Switch. Wow, that's great. Let's see here, Switch, definitely for my Zekrom, which will be ready to Bolt Strike away that Terrakion. 130 HP actually, with PlusPower it isn't actually that much trouble. I could Junk Arm and Catcher that other Terrakion, so I can get rid of a couple of energies. And actually, yeah, that's what I was going to do, but I'm still doubting. I'm going to get rid of a DCE since he does run Lost Remover. That'll be pretty, yeah, I don't know what to say. If it gets the Lost Zone, it'll be gone forever. So I'm rather going to discard it. It's just the same thing. However, I can knock out a Terrakion with 3 energies. So that's cool. Let's see here. Bolt Strike, bang. 130 damage. Hopefully the XP share does work on the online program. Even though your opponent has to choose the options and stuff, so there will be yeah, a trigger here. Let's see, XP share to his Terrakion, I believe that'll be his choice. I'm going to help him here because your opponent actually has to decide the XP share. So if you're running a deck with XP share, just be careful, because your opponent can also be a bastard and just ignore that, and then you're stuck with no energies. But it looks like he's getting 2 energies instead, so that's kind of a glitch here. I'm in a disadvantage. I should have yeah, considered not doing that. However, I want to play fair in each game. Let's see here, another energy. So his energy acceleration is actually pretty great with that EXP share. Those Landoruses do seem to be on the defensive. He actually didn't attack with a single Landorus yet, so he's preferring Terrakion. I'm going to promote my Smeargle with that 1 energy, that way I can definitely retreat it even though I don't have any switches and stuff, so that's why I attached the energy before. And I do have 2 Dynamotors at my disposal, so let's see. There's a lot of options available. I can use Portrait here, or use End first, and my opponent is Disruptive his hand. He only has 4 cards then, and I have 5, so yeah, that'll be the thing I'm going to do. But the chance that my opponent will have a supporter right now is a bit slimmer, but hopefully he does have one. I'm going to use Dual Ball. As you see, I already run Dual Ball as well, but it fails. Communication. My Thundurus is going away because in this matchup he really sucks, so let's go back in the deck and let's see if I can get out something interesting. Wow, looks like my second Mewtwo EX is surprise. So what I'll do next, I'm going to get out Tyrogue, just on occasion that a Landorus or a Terrakion has a few HP left and I don't have any energies that Tyrogue could be helpful. Let's see, I'm going to use Portrait now, or I always wait with the Dynamotors until the very end. Hopefully I can get something else like another Zekrom. Wow! Of those 4 cards he got 3 supporters, so it wasn't disruptive at all at my end. So I can have the advantage to choosing a supporter at my choice, and I'm going to use for the Juniper. And yeah, again with a bunch of Thunduruses. It's really great against the CMT matchup, but in this matchup it's really not that good, so I'm going to power up my Mewtwo. Just like that, he's going to get a massive amount of energy because I know he doesn't run Mewtwo EX, otherwise he would have gotten out him already. And yeah, my Mewtwo EX is on my bench quite a while, so now he's going to get some action. Let's see here, a bunch of energies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that'll be enough to knock it out, just using X-Ball here. I'm just going to, yeah, there we go, X-Ball, 140, just enough, and I can get myself a prize card. So as you see, the Landorus Terrakion matchup usually is way slower than other matchups because you can't actually get 2 prize cards because they don't run any EXs. So if you still want to make a deck without any EXs because you don't have one, just try Terrakion Landorus, trade some cards for the cards you need, and you'll easily make a great deck, at least in this format, since Zekrom EX Eelektrik is still incredibly popular. And there he uses supporter for the turn, and the Landorus got built up straight away thanks to a glitch of EXP share. However, doesn't really matter because we're still tied in prize cards unless he uses catch right now to knock out a Smeargle. Or wow, it's a PlusPower, so he's managing to actually do some damage on Mewtwo. He does have Eviolite, so it'll be pretty hard for my opponent to knock it out. 70 damage. And 10 to all the bench Pokemon out there, even the mines and my opponents. So I do get that switch right now, so I might be able to switch for Smeargle and do a supporter stuff, since the only supporter I have right now is Collector, and that's pretty bad because all my basics are already knocked out, or still the ones I don't need in my deck. So that Landorus does have 100 HP remaining. The smartest thing to do here is just to use Mewtwo EX and overpower the Landorus deck like crazy. But my second Mewtwo EX is prized, so if Mewtwo EX gets knocked out and I don't find a secondary attacker, I'll be knocked out really fast. So I'm just looking at my discard pile. I could Junk Arm for Pokégear, but I'm just going to use, yeah, my deck is also pretty slim, only a bunch of cards left, so I'll be losing if I can draw some more cards. If my deck is empty, I lose, so just going to use X-Ball here. That'll be the thing I want to do. And yeah, it'll give me 1 prize card, and if my opponent doesn't get any other Pokemon in play, because the deck doesn't run that many Pokemon, I'll win that way. So 160 damage on the Landorus, and there we go. Oh, Mewtwo EX, great. I already won by pulling that card, since I can use Dynamotor twice, and he's using the Lost Remover, so DC is going to the Lost Zone. Goodbye. And yeah, I pretty much won this game. Even though he can knock out my Mewtwo EX, I can just promote my Smeargle and just power up my other Mewtwo, which I'll going to bench after I'm get knocked out or something. Dual Ball fails, so that'll be it for the game. If that Dual Ball worked, he could have gotten out another Terrakion or something, and the game would have lasted a bit longer. But yeah, it's over right now. He's going to use a Land or a Gaia Hammer for one last time, dealing a bunch of damage. And that'll be it. I'm just going to bench my Mewtwo EX just to show that it was prized and stuff. And I'm just going to switch for Smeargle. As you can see, Smeargle is pretty great. And yeah, my opponent conceded because he already knows that it's over. I just want to show the importance of Smeargle in a certain deck. I know I wasn't a big fan of Smeargle when it first came out, but thanks to Skyro Bridge being played in other decks and the Dynamotor, that 1 energy that I can attach to Smeargle, I think Smeargle is pretty great. If you haven't tested it out, you should definitely check it out. And that's it for this battle video. I hope you enjoyed it. Once once again, and hopefully I can make some more in the upcoming weeks or something. Just prefer or PM me something you want to see in action. I don't have all the cards at my disposal, but I'll try to make a decent battle video if I can. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. This was ZapdosTCG. Thanks for watching again. Till next time.